We live in a world that's just obsessed with the hustle, right? With planning every little thing, with being in control. And honestly, peace can feel like it's a million miles away. But what if the secret to getting from total burnout to feeling blessed isn't about doing more, but about learning to let go? Today, we're going to dig into some ancient wisdom that has a pretty radical solution for our very modern stress. Okay, let's be real for a sec. Have you ever found yourself trying to manage your friend's group chat like you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company? Or maybe, just maybe, you've created a color-coded spreadsheet for a family vacation. Yeah, if that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. We all do it. You see, this need to manage every single detail, it doesn't just stay at work. It starts to bleed into everything. Our friendships, our hobbies, our entire lives. And what's the end result? It's usually not that perfect outcome we're chasing. Nope, it's stress. It's this deep, constant anxiety that we're just one tiny mistake away from it all falling apart. It is absolutely exhausting.
But what if the real antidote to our 21st century burnout isn't some new productivity app, but wisdom from a spiritual master who lived back in the 13th century? We're about to dive into the work of Ibn Athala, specifically his Al-Hikam, which is this classic text of Islamic spirituality that, as you're about to see, is shockingly relevant to our lives today.
All right, let's get right into the first major principle from this book. It kicks off by looking at this tension, this pull between our own personal ambitions and, well, the bigger plan that we're all a part of. So the first key idea here is a word called Himmah. Now, this isn't just your regular, everyday ambition to get a promotion. Think of it as your highest, most powerful inner drive. It's that spiritual fire that pushes you to strive for excellence, to aim for something truly noble, to be the absolute best version of yourself. It's a really beautiful and powerful force. But, and this is a huge but, here's the twist. Ibn Athala tells us the power of ambitions cannot tear through the veils of destiny. Wow. That's a pretty profound reality check, isn't it? It means that our intense effort, our himmah, it's absolutely essential, but it doesn't actually guarantee the outcome. Our effort doesn't get the final say. And that destiny has a name. It's Qadar. You can think of it as the divine decree, the ultimate timing, the ultimate measure of all things. Now, this isn't about being some passive puppet with no free will, not at all. It's about recognizing that, yeah, we get to write our own chapter, but it's part of a much, much bigger book. And we just don't get to peek at that final page just yet. This chart breaks it down perfectly. Look, our role, that's our himmah, is to strive with excellence. It's our job to set the sails on the boat. It's our job to plant that seed with the utmost care. The divine role, Qadar, that's the final outcome. That's the wind and the tides that move the ship. It's the rain and the sun that bring the harvest. See the difference? We are responsible for the effort, not the outcome. So, if the final outcome isn't really up to us, what does that mean for our obsession with managing every last detail? Well, that brings us right to the second principle, which has some pretty direct advice for us. Basically, it's time to fire yourself as the general manager of your life. And this introduces another key concept, Tadbir. This is that instinct we were just talking about, right? That constant need to micromanage our own lives, to try and control every single variable, to plan for every possible contingency. It's us trying to be the GM of our entire existence. The advice here is just so liberatingly simple. He says, rest yourself from self-management. In other words, you're fired from that impossible job. And why? For that which has been taken care of for you by another, do not busy yourself with it. Don't burn yourself out trying to do a job that's already been filled by someone way more qualified.
I mean, just stop and think about it for 1 second. Right now, as you're listening, your heart is beating perfectly without a single command from you. Your lungs are pulling in oxygen. The entire vast ecosystem that grows your food is functioning on a scale you could never, ever manage. Your provision, the very things you need to survive, often comes from places you never even planned for. So many critical systems are just running perfectly in the background.
Okay, so this is where it all comes together beautifully. When you combine your absolute best effort with the act of truly letting go of the results, you don't find chaos. You find this incredibly powerful and profound peace. This is the solution, and it is a total game changer for that burnout we all feel.
And this state has a name too. It's called Tawakkul. And this is so important.
This is not about just sitting back and waiting for good things to fall into your lap. No, it's active trust. It means you pour your heart and soul into your work. You use your ambition, your himmah to its absolute fullest, and then you turn it all over confidently and peacefully to the true manager of all affairs.
So here it is. This is the path. Number 1, strive with excellence. You embrace that inner drive, your himmah, and you give it everything you've got. Number 2, detach from the outcome. You consciously let go of your grip on the result. You accept that the bigger picture, Qadar, is not yours to control. And finally, number 3, trust the true manager. You practice that active reliance, Tawakkul, knowing the outcome is in the best possible hands. Strive, detach, trust. That's the formula right there. That is the path from burnout to blessing.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Imagine all the energy you spend worrying, over-planning, stressing, and trying to control things that are completely uncontrollable. What could you build? What could you create? Or who could you become if all of that energy was suddenly freed up? What could you achieve if you could just focus on doing your best work with a heart that is completely and totally at peace?